Welcome to another episode of Streamin with a Purpose. It's time to be inspired and motivated to live your best life on purpose. On Streamin with a Purpose, hear the stories of people who have, despite the odds, dealt with the challenges that life sometimes brings, but who still manage to overcome those odds. If you think life is tough and you have to settle for where you are, my guests and I are here to tell you you don't have to. I speak to people who were once where you are and are now living their purpose, and I want to encourage you to live your life to the fullest. I am your host, Sylvia Montgomery. Let's take a listen to our next guest. Welcome to another episode of Streamin with a Purpose. I'm your host, Sylvia Montgomery, and I'm so excited that you are checking out today's show. Today's guest is Denise Rankwiler. How are you today, Denise?
I'm fine, excited to be here. Thank you, Sylvia.
Awesome. I'm excited and glad that you are here as well. Now, I'm just share a little bit of information about Denise. Denise guides purpose-driven creators toward living naturally with tech. And as a certified interaction designer and founder of the communications agency This Side Up, Denise specializes in supporting professionals overwhelmed by the rapidly evolving digital landscape. Hallelujah. We need you, Denise. I
Thank
know a
you.
lot of people could really use your services, right? And Denise's approach combines practical navigation strategies, nature-inspired coaching, and wilderness tours designed to help clients cultivate environments that foster sustainable growth. Now, drawing from her passion for lifelong learning and insights gained through travel and nature observation, Denise brings fresh perspectives to every collaboration. She's an author for a publishing blog, host of a webinar series, and founder of a project facilitating connections between families and relatives with dementia. Denise has collaborated with industry associations, tourism organizations, artists, companies, and non government organizations. An accomplished photographer and entrepreneur, Denise advocates for mindful use of technology. Her expertise has been featured in Swiss media and awarded recognition from NASA, Globetrotter magazine, and various design institutions. So, Denise, I can tell you right now, your services are definitely in demand everywhere because technology is changing daily. So, yeah, digital marketing, it looks like it's what you do. And firstly, I want to say congratulations to you because I know that your entrepreneurial journey is new for you. And you are
It is.
now
Thank you.
just planting your feet on some solid ground. So, hallelujah. And I know that it may not have been easy, but kudos to you for taking the first step that many people have a hard time with. And that's getting started. Not everybody can do that. So, my first question for you is what fueled your entrepreneurial journey?
What fueled my entrepreneurial journey? I think it was a slow process. It was
Hmm.
a slow process. I think it was always in me to do something of my own, but I didn't necessarily grow up in an entrepreneurial family. So first I wanted to go like the classic ways into corporate, and then soon found out that is not my thing. So, my first job was at an life insurance company. I was working there as a secretary, and then later I worked there in finances. And even though the job was great, the company was great, the people were all great, it was not my job. So I went to Zurich and went back to what I really enjoyed back in school, which was surprise physics. So I started to study physics at the university in Zurich, which I really enjoyed. I wanted to become like an astrophysician or a geophysician. And these are still fields that interest me, but I noticed very quickly that it's not my purpose. It's interesting, but it's not my purpose. And the game changer for me, and I think what fueled it in the end was when I met a friend on the campus from back in school, and he goes like, "Oh, you're studying physics now." why do you not study photography? And there was like a coin dropping. It was the first time for me in my life that I ever considered creativity to pay my salary. Before, photography was a hobby, web design was a hobby. I didn't earn really money with it, maybe a little bit, but certainly not consciously to make a living. So I changed and started studying graphic design and did that for 6 years. I enjoyed it as well, but then again noticed how the spark or the flame went lower, and I was looking for something less visual and then studied interaction design. And suddenly I came into a mindset of, or in a world of creativity that wasn't just visual. It included like service design, you had to be creative to create ideas and like make these ideas happen, create businesses and all that. It's all creativity that is not necessarily visual. And that was really my thing. So that was again the spark where I thought, no, I want my own business somehow. And I changed into a communications agency that was very different to anything I've ever worked with or worked for. So we've always been in the home office from the beginning. The work was based on trust. It was like this new work environment. And before, I've always been in the corporate world, and coming back to this new work style of work that sparked the the will in me to again do something of my own. While in the corporate world, I always thought, oh, it's not my thing.
Mhm.
So that was what fueled it. And then, of course, my boss, Michael, in the communications agency, was always very supportive with me. And in the end, he helped me build my own agency.
Wow. Wow, Denise, this is awesome. So, what I'm hearing from you now is that you do consider what you're doing now to be your purpose.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. And I did hear you. You just had a feeling. You were not fulfilled, is what I think I heard from the beginning, working in the corporate element. Um, Even doing some of the things that you might be doing now, but still it just wasn't enough. You might have been doing something you were passionate about, but you felt like something was still missing. Does that sound about correct for you?
absolutely. Yeah. It's also, I think it's a thing that grows and that can change over time.
So now, as I read your bio, I did see a culmination of a mix of interests that seemed like you could take your entrepreneur journey in a number of different directions, but you seem to have taken a number of different interests and geared them all toward technology. And what I'm referring to, um, in your bio, you talked about nature inspired coaching. I'm just sort of interested to hear exactly what that is, and wilderness tours. So I thought that that was just very interesting of itself. How do you take that and make it something that's geared toward technology?
Actually, that's another reason that fueled my desire to build my own agency. And that was my very first trip to Namibia. I was like running into a burnout. And all I wanted was, I just need to get away from here. It was COVID times. Everybody was out of work, it felt, except us. We were flooded with work. We worked all year, nights and days and weekends. And it was the end of the year, and I didn't have any off time yet. And I got this newsletter saying Namibia for spontaneous people. And I'm like, me. That's me. I'm coming with you. And with the flight situation back then, it was like, we need to either go 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And 2 weeks was not enough. So I went to my boss and said, hey, can I take off 4 weeks? in 2 months? And he goes, yeah, of course. And what really hit me there is I've always been fascinated with technology. And I just booked this camping trip to Namibia, 4 weeks. And the closer it came, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm on my phone constantly. I always have my computer with me. I'm online all the time. I'm available all the time. And now I'm going into the desert without even having reception. Even if I wanted, I couldn't get back to customers or work colleagues. So what did I do? And what is if something bad happens at home and they cannot reach me? All these questions. And I'm telling you, we were flying from Frankfurt to Windhoek, 10-hour flight. And I sat in this flight going picking up my mobile phone, looking at it. Oh no, I turned it off because I'm on a flight and I was so nervous. And then thought, oh no, this is just 10 hours. What will happen now the next 4 weeks? And it hit me really bad there when we came to our first lodge. We had Wi-Fi. I sent a few texts back home. We arrived safely. And the next day we went into the wilderness. I turned off my phone and I forgot about it for 4 weeks. I I didn't spend one single thought about it. I even gave it to a traveler that was traveling with us who wanted a second phone for a Namibian SIM card so she can check the news at home. So she was using my phone. I'm just here with my camera. I even bought a book at the airport because I got so nervous. I didn't touch it all 4 weeks. I had my tent, I had my stretcher, I had food, and I was happy. And that really hit me deep, very deep, because at home I always thought I need to have more, I need to make more money so I can buy like status symbols so others think I belong with them and I'm not just a beginner. And all this fell off of me in Namibia. I came home. I I sold my TV. I mean, I threw away, not threw away. I donated lots of my clothes that I collected. I got rid of a lot of like clutter that I had that was just holding me down. And I mean, you should have seen my cats. They thought they were next. So, um, and that I thought I need to bring this experience to other people like me because life is not easy, but it's much simpler than we often think. Finding happiness is a lot simpler than we often think.
Mm-hmm. So what do the wilderness tours look like? You have wilderness tours designed to help your clients cultivate environments that foster sustainable growth. So,
Mm-hmm.
because when I am hearing growth, usually all the things that you just did away with are the things that we need to help with that growth process. So, what does the wilderness tours look like?
Yeah, they are very simple. They're comfortable. They're very comfortable. It's not like a training camp for survival. They're comfortable and safe, but they're very simple.
Mm-hmm.
We have tents with us and stretchers and warm things for the night to cover us. We have a kitchen truck and a really nice cook.
Mm-hmm.
And we have drivers and guides that are from Namibia who really know the wilderness like the back of their trousers pocket. Do you say that in English? That's what we say in German.
Now, this whole process helps them with their business as well.
in not directly, but indirectly in the way that it gets them rooted again. So we are going into the wilderness, we're taking it slow, we are driving out of reception. And this, for me, the difference between not having reception and or just turning my phone off was I for the first time in my life I gave myself the permission to not be available because I had no choice. If I know there's network, then I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just check the emails right quick. What if somebody needs something? And when I know, I told everyone I'm not here, and even if I wanted to, I can't reach anyone, then this did the trick for me to really be able to disconnect and listen to my inner voice that was so low that oftentimes I didn't hear it back here in my daily life. And this is what helped me gain confidence and gain insights of myself, what I used to enjoy to do, what I'm doing now, what the difference is, and where I maybe need to go back or where I need to change direction, and what I really enjoyed.
Okay. So Denise, I think what I'm hearing is that sometimes that disconnect is needed in order for us, because it really does help with burnout. And I did hear you say earlier that you were burned out. Y'all were working consistently. And it seemed like everybody had taken a break from work due to COVID, except you, right? Except your job. And so it does help to disconnect, to take that break away, and when you come back, you're sort of refreshed, right?
Mhm.
And ready to just take on more. And I would say that oftentimes we don't always know when we need to disconnect or when we need that break. We just continue because we're so used to being on the phone. We're so used to those communication channels. We're so used to constantly just being on the go and just feeling that we're needed. I need to be here. I need to be there. I need to be everywhere. Right. And I just need to be in the know. And what I hear you saying is that we don't really need to be in all those places. We can just sort of disconnect from time to time, take that break, and relax from the burnout because that is going to help us to grow once we return and get back to business as usual. Um, that sounds sort of like, one of the terms that I use from time to time is taking a mental health break or mental health day. And in my mind, just scheduling a day here or a day there over a period of 2 to 3 months to just get away, just to take off for no reason at all. Nothing has to be wrong. So, and I'm like, that's the thing to do. I hear you describing even taking it even further.
Mhm.
So, and it's important for us to know when it's needed, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with your digital marketing though, you focus on not just website design, but quite a few different things helping businesses to grow and to develop, including social media. Any do you want to just speak on your services a little bit?
Yeah, in the end, my mission with this site up is to help people find a sustainable way with technology.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not like Gen Z, just growing up now with all the new technology, but you're a little bit older and you have been using the technology for a while, you might have missed some important updates that help you like disconnect on a small base every day. That helps you focus on whatever you are doing and not be distracted with all your notifications that you're getting. And also, a lot has changed in the sense of being able to automate things. A lot of tools, new tools have come up that help you. And my mission with this side up is that I can help business people to automate as much as possible and to design their business workflows in a way that helps them to gain more time, that is actually helping them and not making it more complicated.
And as new entrepreneurs just getting going with their businesses, that's extremely great because um, entrepreneurs wear so many hats and they've got 50 million things to do for their business. So being able to automate some things takes a load off of them. So that is really awesome that you're able to do that to help business owners, especially those who are just getting started and may not really know what to do. So when I go back to your business, and I had mentioned earlier that it's really hard for people to even get started, but you did it and you started. And can you just describe some of the challenges that you had along the way and how you overcame them?
Yes, of course. I had lots of challenges. The very first or the biggest, I think, was a mindset thing, especially about money, because it was so hard for me to write bills or to find reasons why people should pay me for my services. I mean, if I go take pictures, it's just a hobby. Why should they pay me? I haven't even studied photography. Or when I make them a website, I haven't studied web design. I mean, not that you can study web design as web design, but I've always thought of myself that everything that I learned by myself that was not taught to me at school has no value because I'm not doing it right. And that took me a lot of time to realize this limiting belief, because anybody else telling me my story about them, I would have said, what are you worried about? You do great work. Of course, you can ask money for what you do. So that was a big challenge. And then other challenges were maybe the horizon, opening the horizon, because I grew up in a very small village in Switzerland. It's beautiful, and I will move back there when I'm retired probably, but it doesn't have much possibilities. So I needed to leave this little village to see more possibilities, to open up my horizon, and then go home and say, hey, mom, dad, I discovered that you can earn actually money with graphic design. I want to do that now. And not be afraid that they would laugh. They would have never laughed, but that's what I thought. Maybe they will laugh at me when I say that and say I don't have the talent. Um, but still inside, I knew there was the path I needed to go. So working up this courage has been a big challenge.
Your challenges are shared. I'm sure there are so many people who struggle with the same challenges that you have. And that's why I do this podcast, because I want people to understand that what they're going through is no different from what someone else has already gone through and have been able to overcome it. I did hear you say earlier on when you started talking that you didn't know that you could take something that is considered a creative task and actually make money from it, right? So that in and of itself is awesome to know that we can um, we can separate the hobby and make it a business, right? We don't always understand that that line can be a little further drawn than where it is. We think it's a fine line, but again, it goes back to the mindset you talked about earlier. Um, that in our heads, we just have to come to the realization that this is no longer a hobby, it's a business. And once we make it a business, then yes, I can get paid doing this and people will pay me. And, the fact that you have just been blessed with the gift to be able to do the graphics is just awesome. Um, so again, I'm going to just share this for anyone who may be listening who may not have a degree and may feel that, oh, I can't do that. Or I can't charge for that because I didn't study it in school. But if you're talented and you can easily do it, it just comes easy to you, then that's a reason to do more of it, to share it, to build on it, and to possibly even make it a business. So, yes, it's definitely doable. So your challenges are challenges that people have every day. And I'm sure hearing it from you, understanding that it's really not that big of a challenge as we may think it is. It's a little roadblock. It's all it is. And once we figure out a way to get past it on the other side of it, then it's all good. And it sounds like, Denise, you figured out how to get past that little roadblock. So that's awesome. If there was anything that you could do differently, Denise, what would it be?
That's a very good question. And I don't think I would do anything differently. Of course, I ran into roadblocks, but I mean, even after school, I don't know, it's maybe the equivalent of a high school. It's the cantonal school in Switzerland, where I had the main subject economy and law because I thought that is the right or the logical path to go to get into the business world. uh, but I didn't like it. I thought it was so boring. For 4 years, I just hung in there, but I did it. And even that, I'm so glad now that I did it. So all the mistakes that you are making, they serve you in some way. So I don't think I would really do something different because I have gotten value out of everything I've done.
That goes back to something else that I say from time to time is that we need to appreciate every experience, even the ones that we don't particularly care for, because there is value in it somewhere, somewhere. So, yeah, that is awesome. Just knowing that, I appreciate everything I've done, even the things that I may not have really liked that much. It just sort of helps to grow you, helps you to grow into who you are, right?
And I'm a big believer in things are in your life for a reason.
hmm Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. Absolutely. And now, so I have another question because I did hear you say earlier, and I think you've already answered it really, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I did hear you say, being in the corporate world, it just wasn't doing it for you. Do you think that people can be truly fulfilled if they're not living their purpose, Denise?
Nice question. I think there are like degrees of happiness and fulfillment.
hmm
Um, and purpose can look different. It not for everyone, purpose comes with making up a business. For some, purpose is being there for the family, raise children, being there for animals. So, but yeah, I think if you're not going after your purpose or not doing things that are in line with your purpose, you're probably not really fulfilled
Mm. So
or
you,
not as fulfilled as you can be.
right.
Might still be able to be happy.
Just sort of happy, satisfied with life, right?
Mhm.
But that's probably a little different from being fulfilled. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did say that purpose, has different looks, different levels. I guess what would you say that purpose looks like?
Bright, pink, and green, and shiny. And if you look at it, you gain energy from it.
Hmm.
I think it's something, if you listen to yourself, you're automatically led into the direction of your purpose.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
With that said, I realize that not everybody is as privileged as just always going for the purpose.
Hmm.
But I am also a big believer in, I think Pope Francis said that every human being always has a purpose. Everyone and always, even the dying.
Hmm.
And I think no matter where you are in life, you are fulfilling a purpose.
Absolutely. And I would tend to agree that every single being has a purpose. And that's when you are completely fulfilled. And that's when you're at your best, right? And living your best life when you are focused on your purpose. But then you have to wonder about, people who spend a lot of their time being depressed,
Mhm.
upset, angry, bitter.
If you help someone, there's the saying that giving is more divine than taking. I think it's in English. Um, but in order for someone to give, there needs to be someone who can take. So
Mhm.
if you never take from others, you rob yourself from the possibility to give in some way. And I think if you are down and maybe depressed, you still have a purpose that helps others around you in some way.
And
And
it's
that might sound a little crazy, but I do think that it's true that wherever you are, you have a purpose.
mhm,
And however you feel, you are in that position for a reason. Not in the sense of it's your fault, but that you are helping someone else in some way
mhm.
with where you are right then.
Right, right. And I would say that if you find yourself being or looking like that person, then maybe you haven't discovered your purpose yet. But when you talk about giving, our purpose is always about serving others. And it's in our purpose when we're able to really do that, right? And just be that person who's giving back to others. And purpose is big, right? Purpose is huge. And there are just so many people that benefit from your purpose. So, I would say rather than to be depressed and to look down and to be sad about life, figure out your purpose. Because once you do that, then you're living your best life and you're able to actually, give back and put that back out there in the universe and benefit the people around you. Now, so what would you say to someone who might be trying to discover their purpose, but they don't feel they're there yet?
Disconnect. Go into the desert. Yeah, allow yourself to not be reachable, to just spend time with you so you can hear your inner voice and learn how to separate it from the voice of your inner demon, because only your inner voice wants you to advance in life. But the inner demon can get very loud in our daily grind. So disconnect and listen to yourself. See what inside you hear, and love yourself. Accept where you are, who you are, and that you can move on from where you are if you don't like where you are. But love yourself.
That's right. It's that disconnection that helps to get us back on track, right? Yeah, spend some time with yourself, right? And because I'm a woman of faith, I always say when you're doing that, when you have that disconnection, especially, it's a great time to spend with God and just having Him sort of direct your path and where it is you should go from here. Yeah, I love that advice, Denise. So,
Thank
are
you.
there any other tidbits about purpose that you would like to share?
Yeah, have the courage, and purpose will come when you listen to yourself, and it might not come to you revealing itself like, hey, I'm your purpose. Hello. It might be slow. It might come in signs. Maybe you have a dream, maybe you have a thought that suddenly sticks with you, or you overhear a conversation that hits you, and ask your purpose. If you're not sure, give me more signs. It will give you more signs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm,
I'm saying deliberately purpose now. It For someone who believes, it's God, but if you don't believe in God, or are not there, we are all on the journey, and I believe God will not reject you even if you have your doubts. So go ask your purpose.
mm-hmm.
The universe will help you.
Absolutely. We got what we have not because we ask not. Ask the tough questions. That's not a tough question. It's kind of easy. It might be tough getting to the purpose, but it's just a
Mhm,
question and you can put it out there, right? Just put it out
mhm,
there. What is my purpose? And when you have that desire to really want to know, you will be led to it, right?
mhm.
Having that courage. I love that, just have the courage to even get started once again. So that's some awesome advice. So, Denise, if anyone wanted to contact you for your services, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Well, the best way, I'm very often on LinkedIn. Just hit me up there, Denise Rankwiler. And of course, my website, there you can learn a bit more about me, which is denise-rankwiler.ch. There you can also find a few samples, also a little digital escape, like a wilderness tour for you at home, because it's not always possible just quickly go to the Namibian desert for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So that's awesome, Denise. I do want to thank you for your time today. You have just really shown that purpose is, there are challenges that come with it. So it's not always so accessible, so easily accessible. But if we put the work in, and if we really have that desire to want to work in our purpose, that it is actually achievable. And so I want to thank you for that. And not only that, but in just talking with you, it sounds like purpose is definitely worth it because you are now a much more fulfilled person because of it.
Absolutely. Yes, you have said that so wonderfully. Thank you so much, Sylvia, also for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I wish you all the best.
You have just listened to Streaming with a Purpose with your host, Sylvia Montgomery. Thank you so much for listening and continue to stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, bye bye.